What if the very thing we're told never to lose hope could actually be leading us astray? In the grand tapestry of human emotions, hope is often hailed as the shining beacon, the guiding light that propels us forward. It's the optimistic whisper in our ear that assures us, yes, things will get better. But, like a coin with two sides, hope also has a paradoxical nature that's often overlooked. Picture this. You're waiting for a train that's due to arrive any minute. Minutes turn into hours, and hours into days, yet you remain, fueled by the hope that the train will come. But what if that train was never scheduled? What if it had been decommissioned years ago? You'd have spent days waiting for a train that was never going to come. This is the paradox of hope. It's not all doom and gloom, though. Hope can be a beautiful thing, a powerful motivator that can inspire us to climb the steepest mountains and cross the widest rivers. It's when hope becomes blind and unfounded that it begins to lead us astray. Blind hope can make us cling to fantasies, to possibilities that exist only in our minds. It can make us invest our time, energy, and resources into endeavors that are doomed from the start. Take, for instance, the entrepreneur who pours their life savings into a business venture without a solid plan, driven solely by the hope of striking it rich. Or the person who stays in a one-sided relationship, hoping that their partner will one day love them. Or the person that hoped for a particular career and stood there knocking on the door, not seeing that the door never was to open. These are examples of hope leading us down a path of disappointment and wasted potential. Hope is not inherently bad. It's the misuse of hope that can be detrimental. It's the refusal to see reality, to accept when something is not going to happen, and the inability to let go of false hope that can lead to our downfall. So could it be that hope is not always our ally? As we delve deeper into the paradox of hope, we'll explore this question further, shedding light on the potential dangers of blind hope and the importance of grounding our hopes in reality. From a psychological perspective, hope is a survival mechanism, an escape from reality. But could this escape be harmful? Let's delve into the intricate workings of the human mind. Imagine a dense forest, shrouded in darkness, where hope serves as a beacon, guiding us through the treacherous undergrowth. It's a psychological tool, aiding us in navigating through the murkiness of life's challenges. Hope can be a comfort, a warm blanket that shields us from the coldness of despair and disappointment. It's the light at the end of the tunnel, the promise of a better tomorrow. Yet hope can have a darker side. Like a double-edged sword, it can also cut deep, preventing us from facing the harsh realities of our existence. Instead of sparking action, hope can lead to a state of inertia, a waiting game where we hope for better days, instead of striving to create them. This is when hope transforms from a lifeline into a chain, anchoring us to wishful thinking and preventing us from taking the necessary steps towards change. Consider a situation where you're hoping for a promotion. The hope can fuel your ambition, but what if it blinds you to the reality that you're being overlooked? Or perhaps you're hoping for a relationship to improve, but that hope is stopping you from acknowledging the toxic dynamics at play. In these scenarios, hope becomes a veil, obscuring the truth, keeping us stuck in a cycle of inaction and denial. It's like a mirage in the desert, an illusion that distracts us from the reality of our circumstances. This is the paradox of hope. It can both save us and sabotage us. The key, then, is not to abandon hope, but to wield it wisely, to use it as a tool for resilience and motivation, but also to recognize when it's time to set hope aside and confront reality head-on. It's about knowing when to hope and when to act, when to dream and when to wake up. Hope can comfort us, yet it can also keep us stuck in a cycle of inaction and denial. The challenge lies in finding the balance, in navigating the tightrope between hope and reality. This indeed is the psychology of hope. Philosophically, hope is seen as a virtue, but could this virtue sometimes lead us to folly? In the realm of philosophy, hope is often perceived as a beacon of light, a bridge between despair and fulfillment. It's hailed as a virtue, a quality essential for human flourishing. However, like any potent force, it has a dual nature. While hope can drive us forward, it can also lead us astray. Picture this: a ship in the vast ocean, riding on the waves of hope, but without a compass. The captain, buoyed by the promise of unseen lands, sails on, disregarding the storm clouds gathering on the horizon. This is when hope transforms from a virtue into a vice. It becomes a veil that blinds us to the hard truths of reality. We all know of Icarus, the mythical figure who flew too close to the sun, his wings melted, and he plunged into the sea. His story is a timeless cautionary tale about the perils of excessive hope. Icarus hoped to reach the sun, a goal far beyond his grasp. His misplaced hope led him to ignore wise advices, resulting in his downfall. In a world where we're often encouraged to hope without bounds, it's crucial to remember Icarus. Hope, unanchored by wisdom, can lead us into an abyss of disillusionment. It can make us cling to possibilities that may never materialize, invest our time, energy, even money into endeavors that are doomed from the start. So how do we navigate this complex landscape of hope? The key perhaps lies in discernment, the ability to judge well, to differentiate between a beacon leading us to safe shores and a mirage that only exists in our minds. It's not easy to let go of a cherished hope, especially when it's woven into the fabric of our dreams, but sometimes it's the letting go that frees us, allowing us to channel our energies into the realms where hope can truly bear fruit. As with most things in life, perhaps hope too needs balance and discernment. Practically speaking, hope can motivate us to accomplish great things. But when should we stop hoping and start accepting? Hope is a powerful motivator. It sparks the fire within us, fueling our desires and dreams. It can push us to climb the highest mountains and traverse the deepest valleys. It's the beacon that guides us through life's stormy seas, a light in the darkness, a whisper of encouragement when we're on the brink of giving up. Yet, there's a flip side to this coin. In the practical realm, hope can also be a slippery slope. It's a tightrope walk. Lean too far one way, and you're in the domain of delusion. Here, hope transforms into a mirage, a false promise that keeps you running in circles, chasing something that doesn't exist. When we pin our hopes on an improbable outcome, we run the risk of wasting our most precious resources, time, energy, and sometimes even money. We squander these invaluable assets on a future that may never materialize when we could have invested them in more fruitful pursuits. So how do we navigate this tricky terrain? The key lies in discernment. We must learn to distinguish between constructive hope and destructive hope. Constructive hope propels us forward, pushing us to strive for attainable goals. Destructive hope, on the other hand, is like a hamster wheel, leading us nowhere. It's not easy, of course. It requires a deep understanding of oneself and the situation at hand. It's about being realistic without being cynical, optimistic without being naive. It's about knowing when to hold on and when to let go. Remember, hope is not a one-size-fits-all solution. It's a tool, and like any tool, its effectiveness depends on how we use it. Used wisely, hope can lead to growth and achievement. Used recklessly, it can lead to disappointment and regret. Perhaps the wisest among us are those who know when to hold on to hope and when to let it go. The key, it seems, lies in balancing hope with reality. But how do we achieve this balance? It's a question that has perplexed thinkers throughout the ages, a delicate dance between optimism and acceptance. Let's begin by understanding that hope isn't the enemy. It's a beacon, a guiding light leading us through the darkest times. But like any light, it can blind us if we stare too long or too directly. That's why we need to temper hope with a healthy dose of reality. So how do we achieve this balance? First and foremost, it's crucial to cultivate discernment. Discernment is the ability to judge well, to understand where our hopes are leading us, and whether they serve our best interests. It's the compass that guides us through the fog of uncertainty, helping us determine what to hope for and what to let go of. Discernment isn't something that comes naturally, though. It's a skill honed over time through experience and introspection. It involves asking the hard questions, acknowledging the uncomfortable truths, and being willing to accept them. It's about recognizing that not all our hopes will materialize, and that's okay. It's about understanding that sometimes the things we hope for may not be what's best for us. Next, we need to embrace acceptance. Acceptance isn't about giving up or admitting defeat. It's about understanding our reality, acknowledging its limitations, and working within them. It's about realizing that while we can't control everything, we can control how we react. Finally, we need to practice resilience. Resilience is the ability to bounce back from disappointment, to keep moving forward even when our hopes are dashed. It's about finding the strength within us to adapt, change our course if needed, and keep going. Balancing hope and reality is not an easy task. It requires courage, wisdom, and a willingness to face the truth, however harsh it may be. But it's a journey worth taking, for it leads us to a place of peace, understanding, and ultimately, fulfillment. In the end, hope is not a villain, but like all powerful forces, it must be wielded with care and wisdom.